Hello, America and the world. Welcome to another episode of Life After Lockup, a program that is designed to show you, the public, the life of an ex-offender after he's been released from prison or jail, just to kind of show you the ups and the downs, the positives and the negatives of our lives, and the things maybe that you can do to help us to get a jump start on life. A lot of times we get out, we don't have places to stay, we don't have the proper support. Sometimes difficult to find a job and things of that nature, and it causes a lot of stress on us and a lot of stress on the people around us. So this program is designed to kind of share some stories of some individuals who have been released from prison or jail, and either their accomplishments or the things that have happened that has caused their lives to be maybe jumbled all up. I want you to know that you can join us on Life After Lockup and watch any of our programs on Paducah2.org. If you need some information from Life Community, the program that I do, you can always call 270-575-3823, or you can visit us on Life Communities at bellsouth.net for our email address. I want to welcome today a very special guest and with a very special story, Sister Deborah Garthwright. I want to shake your hand today. God bless you. How you doing?
Fine, and you?
I'm doing marvelous, Listen, you have a very fascinating story, and I want the audience to kind of get a feel of some of the things that you might have gone through in your life, and I want you to basically be able to kind of maybe share a little bit about your background, give as much as you want up to the first time that you were actually incarcerated.
Okay, moved from Chicago here. I moved here to work, and it didn't work out with a family member, so I got on my own. I started getting into daycare and different things, and I ran across a lot of people that I was trying to avoid to keep myself out of trouble, but it was hard to do. So I ended up working, and it happened on the job. A woman's purse or whatever come up missing, and they accused me because I guess I was the black sheep of the job. No one knew me, they never heard of me. And here I come, and I wanted to try to, I'll clean good, and I enjoy cleaning. So they didn't want to clean and do the things I enjoy. So I ended up getting a case where this girl's wallet come up missing, and I went to court, and I ended up pleading guilty for something I didn't do because I didn't know the system. I had never been locked up, so I ended up doing 150-some days.
Okay. Back up, hold on just a minute now. Back up just a little bit, because you was working at a place, and somebody's wallet came up missing. And now, when it came up missing, did you get arrested right then?
Well, I ended up going to the police station to be searched because they had me on tape going into the room.
Okay.
I was doing laundry at the time, so I hung up a shirt and I come out, and as we proceeded to leave for the night, they said, well, we couldn't leave the building because the police was there. So I didn't have no problem with it because I hadn't did anything.
Right.
So by me and another person on camera going into this room, they took us to the station and they searched us, they talked, so they released me. Okay. Maybe 2 or 3 days later, I had opened up an account. I wrote some checks, and I was going through that, trying to get it straight, and so I had to go to court. So as I'm leaving the courtroom, they decided, well, you can't leave, you need to sit. Come to find out, this woman had went and pressed charges against me for stealing her purse.
Okay, so she basically just accused you. Did she accuse the other person?
Nope, no one but me.
Okay, so you got accused for stealing the purse. Now, when you went to court, you said you ended up pleading guilty. Now, this is where I'm kind of concerned about, because now you didn't take the purse.
No. But
you pled guilty to it.
Yes.
Okay. And
I was told if you plead guilty, you either get it, how did they say? You did. Mostly you would end up just going home. They wouldn't even, it'd be, go ahead, you didn't do it. But they didn't have no evidence of me. Like I said, they searched me. They searched the area I worked in. They didn't find no money, no wallet. So I was let go.
Okay.
But even on the camera, it didn't show where matter of fact, I don't even remember seeing the person in the room because I was moving out so fast.
Okay. Now, so you go to court. You pled guilty. Now, whose suggestion was it for you to plead guilty? Was it the public defender?
Public defender.
Okay.
Because he said I didn't have a case in the first place. You know, he said one way or the other they was gonna lock me up.
For stealing the purse.
For,
Okay. So you pled guilty. Now, did you go to jail then
yes, I did.
for that? Okay. So you went to jail for 100 and...
Well, they gave me. How did that happen? I went to jail, so they ended up giving me. I went back to court. It ended up going into restitution, where I had to pay. I think it was $430. They gave me, so many months to pay it.
Okay, how long did you stay in then? Do you remember? For a few days or?
Maybe like 2 or 3 days.
Okay, so this was the first time on the purse situation, and that you didn't do, but you pled guilty to. Now, and the reason I'm bringing this up because the next time you got arrested. Now, here's another situation. But now this thing with the purse is still kind of lingering, right?
It's lingering because I owe McCracken County restitution,
Okay.
and they gave me so much time to come up with this money. So by me not having a job, I didn't have nowhere else to stay. I lost the place I was living in, so I moved to Marion, Illinois with a friend. That turned out to be a bomber because he got into drugs. He started smoking crack, and I got caught up in a situation with his daughter catching him. So I leave, put stuff in my car, come from Marion to Paducah, go to a friend's house. Come to the friend's house, they're looking for her husband, and I get caught up again, trying to, I'm getting away from trouble, at least I thought. But when I got in my car to leave, they stopped me. They thought I was him. Okay. So they ran a check. They couldn't find nothing. So finally they found out I didn't have license or insurance.
Okay.
So by me living in Kentucky and my car was registered in Illinois, they searched over there and found out that that's how I didn't have license or insurance. So I ended up going to jail. I ended up doing 152 days for both cases.
Okay. Now, I'm wanting you to get to the point to where this stuff was found.
Okay, when they stopped me after I moved back here from Marion, I stayed with a friend. When they came to her door looking for her husband, I got in my car and I left. And like I say, and they stopped me thinking it was him driving it, but it was me. So they stopped me, they did a check, and they finally found that, okay, I had a warrant for over here not paying the restitution. Okay. So it was cold, and I asked to put on a jacket I had put in my car from Marion and threw it on the back seat, so they did, but he patted me down, and when he patted me down, he found something in my pocket, and when he brought it out, it was a $20 rock. So I had,
when you said $20 rock, that's a
crack cocaine.
A piece of crack, okay.
Yeah. Didn't know it was in there, and come to find out, the guy that I lived with started hiding his crack because his daughter had caught him smoking.
Right.
So
here you go now. So here you go again.
Back in trouble again.
Back in trouble again. Yeah. Now, the two situations here with the purse that you didn't do, and this it wasn't yours, but it was in your coat.
It was on my possession by him putting it in my jacket, and I put the jacket on.
Okay, so it's in your possession now. You go to court for that with all this other stuff, with the other things still kind of hanging.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so you go to court for that. Now, why did you plead guilty for that if it wasn't yours?
Well, they told me by it being on me, it was mine. I couldn't go out no other way. They didn't have no other person to say it was theirs. And
now this person that they belonged to
ended up dying while I was in jail. When I tried to contact his daughter to make sure he was okay, because he had got sick and went to the hospital, his kidneys was failing, but he didn't make it. So when it was time for me to go back to court and I needed a witness, he had already
passed.
Yeah. So
okay, so here you are in jail.
To say, well, since you don't have a witness, the only thing you can do is plead guilty and take the charge, because it's going to be pinned on you either way it goes.
So it's going to be pinned on you any way it goes. And I'm concerned about this now because, okay, you're saying two things here that you didn't do, but you had to plead guilty.
Yeah, and at least I thought in order to stay out of jail, but I ended up doing jail time either way it went.
Anyway, now, while you were in jail, now because I want people to kind of get an understanding of this, even though all the evidence it looked like it's yours. Okay, like right, it ain't yours. Your coat is in there. Okay, so who else is it? But you in jail. Mm-hmm. Now, this your first time, been in jail?
Ever in life, and I'm 51 years old at the time. I'm 53 now.
So you in jail, and never been in there before, and the months are passing, so you want to get out.
I'm ready to go home.
So now, what would have happened if you had gone to trial?
I really couldn't say.
How much time was they offering you?
I think it was like 5 years.
It's offering you 5 years.
5 years.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 5 years.
Okay, and so they telling you if you go to trial, you're going to get found guilty because
Yeah.
they found it in your pocket, in your possession,
Yes.
in the car you was driving. So it's in all actuality, for they're concerned,
It was
it's
mine.
yours.
Yeah.
And probably if you had gone to trial, they would have found you
Same-
guilty.
same
Okay.
way.
So you pled guilty
Yeah.
to this, and so you got out. I mean, after you pled guilty and everything at final sentence, and now you've been out now for what?
Over a year, going on 2 years.
Okay, now, and all this is interesting because I've sit in court sometimes, and I have seen some of the people say, "Well, I'm really not guilty, but," and the judge seems to tell people, "Well, if you're not guilty, don't plead," but then their public defender is saying, "Well, you don't really have a choice."
Yeah.
And I've seen people that feel like they have no choice, and so when they get maybe arrested for something that they did do, they got all these things, maybe some of these things on their record that they actually didn't do. So how do you go back and redo this, or is there any way possible?
There's no way possible.
Okay, so once you plead guilty, it's
You
done.
just do the jail time and try to get on with your life, and if you can mend it back in order. But after you get out of incarceration, it's hard because there are no jobs. Especially for a first-time offender, which I think is the silliest thing, because you have repeated offenders, and most of them can come home and per se get a job with nothing said. But for some reason or another, I had been having hard times because when they do a background check as well, we can't hire you because of your background. Okay, well, what about my life? Where do I go from here? I mean, I can't go to school for certain stuff because I have a felony. You can't get a job in daycare because you have a felony. So total word of your whole life is just turned upside down.
Okay,
and one mistake shouldn't take everything away from you. I thought once you did certain things in jail or had jail time, you can proceed with your life and you can get a job, you can go back to living normal, but it's not that way.
Okay, and even now you're speaking from a personal standpoint because I've had people on the show and some kind of way they've managed to either make it or whatever, and in your particular situation, it's been a little bit more difficult for you because now you were working at one time and had your own place.
I had my own place.
Okay, what happened in that situation?
The job ended up closing down, and after that, I wasn't able to pay my rent, and thanks to you and your Jumpstart house, you had a room there, and that's where I'm at now. I don't know what I'd have did or where I'd have went.
Okay, and even the thing that kind of struck me by, I don't know, I guess surprised that didn't really realize that. Now, after you lost your job and you lost your place to stay, you couldn't even, now you had no income coming in. You couldn't even get food stamps.
No.
Unless they found out that you were getting some type of help, right?
Yeah, I went back to the food stamp office to try to assume the food stamps, so they told me I had to go to evaluation. So I went and got evaluated. That wasn't good enough. Now they wanted me to go through drug rehabilitation before I can order to get stamps, which was like an 8-week course, but it was costing $20 a class. So I didn't have the kind of money, and thanks to Christ Temple, they had a class that I could get into, and I went for 8 weeks, and now I'm able to get food stamps.
Okay, so basically now, and because it's under Life Community, we have the class at our church, but it's under Life Community called it's the Lifesaver class, which we have discussed on this show, which is a 8-week course.
Right.
And once you finish the 8 weeks, we gave you a certificate, and you was able to get food stamps. So what did you do between the 8 weeks?
I went to churches or wherever I could get food. Because I don't have family here, so it's mostly through the churches.
Mm-hmm. So if you hadn't had help just from people that were kind and maybe people that were generous, then you'd have been on the street basically, and with no food.
Homeless and on the street.
And all because you ended up pleading guilty to a couple of things that you really had no way to get out of.
Right.
So here you are, a female, and see, this is one of the things here that I'm hoping that this program would give people an opportunity to understand, especially with women, because if people have been watching the program at any length of time, the last few people I've did some women, and the last one I did was a woman, and then I really tried to get people to really see the struggles that you guys go through when you get out. For men, it's a little bit different because a man can usually make it, but with you guys, without some type of support, what would you do without some type of support?
You end up back where you started, most of it.
I mean, then even I'm sure some man would have let you stay with him, but it wouldn't have been for free.
For free, no.
Right.
You have to do things you're not willing to do or don't want to do. You either go back to where you started or go worse than what you was already doing.
Ain't there something?
And I'm not trying to go backwards. I want to go forward with my life.
Yeah. And the thing about it, thank God for the Lifesaver class. Thank God for the Jump Start House. And actually, you were the actual first woman that we've actually had in the Jump Start House. Fortunately, when you were homeless, all the men had already moved out, and so we were able to put you there, and that's basically what it's for, to give you a jump start. And fortunately, we had the Lifesaver program, so you were able to come there for free and not have to pay, and still be able to get a certificate of completion and to be able to at least get food stamp. But you still, because we see you all over the place. You're walking all over Paducah.
I'm out looking for jobs. I'm going to school, trying to get my GED. And I'm just trying to better myself, because the system won't allow you to get on your feet. They won't give you a chance. If you go put in applications, they turn you down. And once they do a background check and they come back, a lot of them won't accept you to work on their job. So you back to where you started. Either go back out there and do drugs, sell drugs, your body, or whatever.
But you're not
going down that
way. You're not going down that way, and
No.
and these are things that I think people have to understand, because you are going to try to get a GED.
Yes,
and I asked the question before, do you feel like, how much hindrance do you feel like the GED is versus your criminal background check? Do you think that your criminal background check is really the reason why you really can't get hired?
Yes, it is, because that's what always come up. Once you put in an application and you say you had a felony or you've been to jail, they do a background check, and that's where it come in. They'll give you a job without a GED.
Okay.
Depending on what job you're trying to get. But once that background check come in, you back out on the street, jobless again. I mean, it's just.
And what do you do? I mean, what is your?
I clean houses, I cook, I take care of the elderly, I see after children, whatever I can do to make an honest dollar.
Okay. And
I'm willing to do anything, clean yards, houses, whatever.
Okay. But you really want something stable, something that you can, make a living off of, because that's what you were doing at first, before where you was working closed down, and then you end up losing your house because you was working and you was taking care of yourself.
Taking care of myself, I was staying out of trouble.
Right.
So.
And then when the job shut down, that kind of, really took everything.
Then you have to try to survive by keeping a house where you don't have money coming in. You have to do things, or people coming in and out. Some kind of way you have to try to survive, and which one way or the other, if it's not legally and honest, you're going to end up in jail or dead. So,
right.
And I'm not trying to go either way.
And the thing about it is that survival kicks in that makes you have to survive. It's like I've got to make it somehow. You got to eat. You got to have a roof over your head, especially. And this is the thing that I feel like that people really got to understand. Being a female. And you said, you're older now, you really want to get rid of all that old garbage in the past and try to have a better life. Yeah. And you can't do that if somebody doesn't try to help you.
Yes.
And it's unfortunate. I want to mention this again about the guilty pleas. Do you think there was anything that you could have done at all if you were not guilty of those things? Is there anything you could have done that could have kept that off of your record, or
They just spoke up. Someone that knew me and knew the type of person I am, was, that might have helped. But the lady that was in charge of the nursing home, she felt though that I was innocent, but the people that was over her just wouldn't accept it.
so because you were kind of new and all
Yeah.
that, and then going to court, and this is the thing, I don't ever recommend a person pleading guilty for something that they don't do. But then when the evidence is so against you, and plus you said you didn't really know the system.
Right.
So when
With
they
the
said,
evidence, I don't actually believe they had any against me.
with the purse thing.
Yeah, they never did find anything on me. They took me and they searched me. They searched my work area. They didn't come out with anything.
So why
and they released me?
Why the guilty plea when the
I didn't know any better.
And that's important. That's important.
I didn't know no different. I didn't know who to turn to talk to. First time ever getting in trouble. First time being locked up or attempting to be in jail. So I figured if I pled guilty, the judge would feel sorry and let me go home.
But that wasn't the case.
No, sir.
That wasn't the case.
It was the opposite of what I was thinking.
So, and all this what you're saying is very important, because a lot of times people don't know.
No.
They don't know. And I got a letter from a lady in last week that ended up getting 10 years because she had no clue as to what she was doing, what she was signing for.
And it's sad that you don't really have someone that you can depend on to help you out of situations or tell you certain things to do before you jeopardize your life like that.
And the public defender's office, I mean, God, sad to say, they are overworked, underpaid, and if they can get rid of your case by
Quickly, fastly, you just one less headache they have to deal with.
Yeah, and it's sad to feel that way, but that's how it seems. And now looking at it from a standpoint of, if I was the public defender, I saw the situation with you, maybe that would be the best way to keep you out of jail, because like you said, there was no evidence. But if there was no evidence, going to trial was gonna take a long time, long process, and you still would have been found guilty and have to end up going and serving more time than the few days.
The whole 5 years, because see, I didn't have no associates, no real friends, nobody that really knew me, not in Kentucky. So it makes a difference of who you know and where you come from.
Okay, let me ask you this: had you to do it all over again, now after what has happened and after you seeing what would have gone
I would take my chances going to trial.
You would have taken your chances going to trial.
Yeah.
With the purse thing, what about the crack thing?
That too, ain't it?
Okay, the purse thing, you would have taken your chances. Now, me standing on the outside looking in, I would have said, now with the purse thing, you probably have a good chance of getting found not guilty with the purse thing. But with the crack thing, even as a public defender, as another person, with it being in your coat, your pocket, in the car you was driving.
See, they didn't. Well, it was in my car.
Okay.
Once I picked up the jacket.
Right. And see, now would a public defender say, "Listen, I know you innocent. You need to take your chances." I would almost believe, as innocent as you might have been, I would have almost believed a jury of 12 people would have found you guilty.
Yeah.
But I believe they probably would have found you innocent with the purse thing, but maybe guilty with the rock thing. But still, if you didn't do it, what advice do you give a person if they didn't do it? And you're saying that because you didn't do it, you would have taken your chances in trial. With both of them?
With both of them.
Wow. That's interesting. Now, I can see with the purse thing, but
First of all, hopefully the person that put the drug there wouldn't have died.
Right.
I'd have had a witness.
Right.
Or even if he died, his daughter knew what time it was. Maybe I could have got her to come from Illinois to come over here and be a witness.
Right.
So I might have had a chance, but then she was in the process of moving. Then they was trying to bury him, so she wasn't gonna take time to come. Well, you already in jail, so what I'm gonna come over there for?
Right.
So
right.
okay.
So and then plus, you've been in jail and you tired of being there, and the first time being there, you was ready to go.
Yes.
So if pleading guilty is going to get you out of jail, let me plead guilty.
Yes.
And then plus when they threaten you with 5 years,
Oh man, I was just like lost my
I
mind.
can't even do days or months, much
I
less
was good
5
to do
years.
them 152 days, cause then it was like nerve-wracking because you get all type of women to come in and you have to put up with all kind of stuff. And I was like, oh Lord, if I get out of this, please, I'm gonna stay on the straight and narrow. But I met your wife and other women from the church, and I promised her when I got out that I would be there through thick and thin,
And you
and
and
I
you've
have
been there.
not turned back.
You have been
Yes,
there, and
yes.
it's an interesting story here because I think really, to be honest with you, people need to understand everybody that pleads guilty is
I'm
not
not
guilty.
guilty.
They
No,
just don't have a defense,
no.
and that's sad. That's really sad.
Because you don't have no one to actually believe you, especially, okay, like I'm a newcomer in Kentucky. I didn't have nobody that really know nothing about me. I wasn't around enough people to pick up on saying, well, no. I mean, yeah, I worked for a few people, but they really didn't know me or know where I came from to say, well, no, she's not a drug user, she's not a thief. I mean, I don't have no record or none of that. I mean, if they went back to Chicago, they would never found, well, okay, she has a list of priors for this, that, and the other. I've gotten stopped for driving, running a stop sign, but no drug trafficking, no stealing, none of that. I
Right,
mean,
right.
it's just sad to see
It
things that
is.
happen that way too.
And
Sometimes it takes a hard knock to get you back on the right track.
okay, but you're on the right track now. You just
Yeah,
need a good
good
job,
job and
and
somebody to give me a chance.
that's it.
That's it.
And I am really just in awe about the story because I really was interested when you were telling me about the guilty plea things. I'm really interested in that because I wish there was a way that judges would be a little bit more lenient when a person don't really have a defense, but they're really
Well, that's
innocent.
because they get so many people to come in and out with the
Same
same
story.
story. They hear it all day, every day. So who am I to come and say I didn't do it? And okay, well, what makes you different from all the ones that have done it?
Exactly.
Can you prove yourself? Which I didn't have no proof.
have no
So,
proof.
like I say, can't win for losing. So I
But
took my chance. I thank God that I got out of it, and I've been straight in there ever since.
well, sis, I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job, and I'm really, really proud of you. And I thank you for watching this program, and I really hope that whoever's watching got something out of it. Give us a chance. Just open up your heart and allow an ex-offender to come to work or whatever, because sometimes you can probably be helping somebody to change their life completely. Thank you so much for watching Life After Lockup. You have a marvelous day.